Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you to another week of Market Edition with Yemi Olaleye. And this is powered by FX Pro, your multiple awards regulated broker. And of course, we're starting for the new week from January 12th to 5th to 16th of January 2026. And let's take a good look on the fundamental we have for this week. And of course, from there, we move straight to the technical analysis. And on the fundamental, focusing on high impact news only. On Monday 12, we have no high impact news. And also we have a bank holiday in Japan, which will affect Japanese yen. On Tuesday, we have US dollar coming up with the core CPI, and that is also coming about 2:30 p.m. Nigerian time. On Wednesday, we have US dollar coming up again on high impact news on core PPI and retail sales. Of course, here is 2:30 p.m. Nigerian time again. On Thursday, 8 a.m. Nigerian time, we have the gravy 10 pounds coming up on the GDP and followed by 2:30 p.m. USD unemployment claims. And on Friday, there is no high impact news. This is the highlight for this week. So basically, if you're trading USD pairs more, just like me, we have to be very careful for this week. There are certain news coming up on USD that we have to be cautioned about. All right, without wasting time, let's go to the technical analysis, starting from the weekly time frame analysis on the DXY. Last week was a fantastic one because we had the price moving in our direction. So the price being on a massive bullish momentum on the monthly time frame demand zone on this DXY. We've already projected that this is where we are heading to see the price. So my projection was very simple last week that I'm expecting to see this price level be taken out. Of course, this is where I'm expecting the price to get to at 104 points, something there, 104.13 around there. So last week I projected that this was the last candle for last week, right? That we'll be having a price movement probably hitting here for the week. And then going to the daily time frame perspective now, we saw how that happened for the 5 trading days. The market moved significantly in that direction. One, two, three, four, five. Can you see? It has actually gotten to where we almost where we expecting. So for this week, what are we expecting? I'll be expecting more bullish momentum on the daily time frame as well, since it aligns with my weekly time frame. So what we'll be doing is very simple, expecting more bullish momentum. This high to be taken out for this week, and we'll have a new target for the week. So we're targeting this level, this zone for the week. We'll be expecting DXY to get into. So majorly, I'm expecting more bullish momentum on the DXY. So basically, we just expect a bit of reaction here and there and there and here. So this will be my projection for the DXY for this week. So let's go on the 4 time frame. How does that look like? I'm not really sure yet. This is how it looks like. So now I'm sure it's actually looking good. So with so much data on 4 time frame, let's just keep it simple. What we have on the daily time frame is the same thing we're looking for. So I'm expecting this cycle to be completed. Basically, this cycle right here is what I'm expecting to see the completion right here. So on the 4 time frame perspective, there is nothing really much I'll be looking at. If the price actually do a bit of correction, it's not a problem. We have a price level like this we can use as a guide. All right. So basically expecting the price to do something similar to this, then move this way. So this will be my projection for the week on the DXY. Let's go straight to the next one, and this will determine what we'll be doing with the next one. Okay, fantastic opportunity on this one. Excuse me. On the weekly time frame perspective for last week on EURUSD, we had a fantastic bearish momentum as well, which delivered. Let's calculate it. Let's check it together. Over 100 pips as well. And that was also projected for a sale for the week. And then it was a good one. So let's check the daily time frame. What did we have? We have the significant bullish momentum for the 5 days, because we expected the price to move into this range and see a reaction. In fact, I projected a buy reaction from here, but basically the price was so massive into that zone that I'm changing my bias right now, because right here it's looking a little bit different. So what will I do? The buy will still hold. Most likely it may still hold, but it won't hold for long as projected before now. So basically I could just be expecting it to do a bit of buying into this level and do something like this. Okay, and do something like this. And why will I be expecting that to happen? It's very simple, because right here is where I'm also expecting reaction in the market, expecting reaction from here. And going forward, I have to also admit the fact that this was where we have a previous low price level, which was also the cause of a failure swing we had there. This is not equal high, a failure swing, then market started moving. Market has never been back to this level. All right. It was closer to it at once. Okay, with this candle. All right. And with that now, it tells me more that stop losses will be just within this zone. For everybody looking to take trades from here, stop losses will be within this zone. And that is why we're anticipating that the price comes back in here later on. So that means from here, I'll be looking for more bullish momentum. And of course, yes, we can have a little bit of buying for the week, and then market continue to sell off. Can you say something like this? So if I'm to trade this right here, I'll still be looking for a more sell momentum overall, right? This is what I'll be looking for overall. So if you're trading this, this is my outlook for the week on this Euro US dollar. Going to the 4 hour time frame, I'm not going to repeat what I've said before because it's looking the same right there. Okay, this is what I'm expecting to see. Why? I've seen a reaction right there on the daily time frame perspective. So with this one, I'll be looking for more sell energy right here. And also, I'll be looking for more buy energy right here. So to not waste the time, to not repeat what I've said already, I'll just be looking for that to happen. So on 4 time frame, a bit of buy and continue selling into this range. And when it gets into this range, I want to see a proper buy. So that is my projection on this one right here. This is Euro US dollar. So let's go, and let's go. So this is what I'll be expecting. Okay. So the buyer projected earlier on may not really hold much because of the reaction on DXY2. All right. So let's go to the next one. We have this one right here. This is Great Britain pounds to US dollar. Let's go to the weekly time frame. On the weekly, we have, oh yeah. My buy projections is last year, still here, and the market has really moved significantly, right? It has moved significantly, but has not gotten there. So right now we are bound between two major zones, and then on weekly time frame, what does this look like? Our projection for this one also was a buy and was a sell last week, and this also delivered more than 100 pips on both sides, and that's 200 pips total. And it's a massive momentum we had last week. So it was very simple. What this looks like is we're still going to have a sell, because looking at the weekly time frame perspective, and the candle is ending with a shooting star like this, a wicked shooting star, by the way. It looks more we're going to sell. Something similar was here, and we saw a sell momentum. Though it was choppy, but it sold. Right here, we had something like that. Previous high was taken out, and the next high didn't take out this. The next candle closed below it. It's a pure signal that we're having a more bearish momentum week to go forward. All right, on the daily time frame, what do we have? Last week we talked about this. I said this is my premium level, which I'm expecting a supply from. And look at the price. The market actually moved there on Monday. On Tuesday, the market hit the zone. And since that Tuesday, we've been selling off so far. And till Friday, the market has done over 173 pips in that sell momentum. And I took this trade with the community as well. I saw many screenshots. Congratulations to those that took it. And with this outlook, therefore, it means I'm looking for more sell momentum right here. So we still have about 195 pips to go. And this is where I'll be thinking of a buy in the future. But currently, right now as it stands, my last week projection on this one is still there. If you missed the last week video, please go forward, go and check my last week video. I posted it on Sunday. That was 4th of January 2026. Check it out and you will see the insight right there. This is not our insight. It's exactly what we do in the market. So basically, what we see here is very simple. The trend line momentum that you see has been taken out with 2-day candles. All right. So with that now, it tells you more info about what we should be expecting. Should we expect a little bit of buy? Of course, yes, we may expect a little bit of buy to where this line is. And of course, yes, we're looking for more sell momentum. And on the 4 time frame perspective, what do we have? There's nothing there, nothing there. It's looking trickish, but I think what I can say is what I've said on daily time frame is what I'll still be holding on to. All right. So if we have a bullish momentum, a little bit of it that I've said, probably to this level. Okay, and we backed into the zone. All right. So from that, we can start buying off. Okay, just like that, something like this. Anyway, so just to keep it simple, this is what I'm expecting. If we have a buy, just a little bit of buy into this range, and we continue the deal right here. So this is where I'll be thinking of a buy from in the future. Basically, this is what I'm expecting, and let's see how the market unfold. This is not an absolute thing, it is based on what the market is showing. So we're going with the flow of the market. So when you're trading this, trade with proper risk management, it's very, very important. So this is, by the way, let's go to the next one. We are done with this. Look at this. This is Great Britain pounds US dollar. Overall, we are selling, all right? We're selling into this range. That is very clear. Okay, let's go. The next one is AUD US dollar. Nothing is really happening here. I've told you before now. I'm not moved by this guy, AUD USD. It moves annoyingly and definitely to get to where you're expecting, but it will take time and all of that. Last week was more of ranging can do. My projection on it was very simple. At a point in time on daily time frame, I've anticipated that when it sells to this level, that's when I'll be taking it seriously for a buy. And right here. So it has to take out this low before I take it serious for a buy. On the 4 hour time frame, look at what we have on the 4 hours. This is what it's looking like now. This is what it's looking like on 4 hours. So basically, it has not gotten there. And till it gets there, we really have no business. I'm not talking about it again till we get here. All right, great. So that is that on the AUD US dollar. And quickly, let's move to the next one and let's have more insight. AUD US, SZD USD. This is fantastic. And let's start from the weekly time frame. On the weekly, I projected this one for a sell as well last week, even though it's in a ranging zone, a lot of thing happening there. And right here, it's in a range whereby there is a fair value gap zone, really. This is a fair value gap zone, but it has not done much action right here. It's more or less like it kept the eye. Okay. It's more or less like it kept the high. It took it out a little right here though. Okay. So let's see this reaction because it makes a little bit nervous now. One, two, price was here. We have a rejection. This is on weekly, but let's see how powerful the weekly momentum is here on the NZD US dollar. So let's check it out together. All right. If you shrink your chart completely, you see that this is in a bearish momentum, a downward trend so far, so well, right? And lower highs and lower lows has been created multiple times. But to keep it simple, what do we have for last week was a sell candle, and can the price actually sustain that into a lower price level? Let's see that on the daily time frame. On the daily, what do we have here? It's a beautiful chart about price pattern or price action rather. And you see the pattern over the chart as it's forming. It has formed something creative right here. Is a completion of a cycle we're expecting right here. This is the high and this is the low. And of course, we've seen the market taking out the previous high here. It's selling down right here. Lower highs again, lower lows again. So this looks more bearish to me if you ask me. And of course, yes, if you want to expect a bullish momentum to this price level, this is very good. And of course, we can expect the price to move in the future. So which means we might have something like this going forward. So I'm not going to take that far away. I'm expecting the price to actually come here too, because it's been a while. I've talked about this and I've been waiting for that zone. That zone actually I got it from the daily time on the 4 hour time frame. So why am I marking out this zone? Let me show you quickly. Why am I marking out this zone? This is the fair value gap zone we had before we break the previous low right there. So if we're going to have a buy momentum, of course, I'll be expecting it to be around here before we got it. And then this is it. So this will be my projection on the NZD US dollar daily time frame. If you go to the 4 hour, why I don't do lower time frame perspective is there's too much noise, too much data, and too much confusion most of the time. So get the insight on the higher time frame. Then when you go to lower time frame, it becomes clearer. We've talked about this on the daily time frame, right? And when we come to 4 hours now, it looks simpler. We're expecting the price to do this. And if you're expecting the price to do that many pips, that's 39 to 40 pips. And if that happens, then if you're selling from there to here, that means we're expecting about 142 pips. It is very simple. So this is a demand zone, and this is why I'm expecting a buy from here. So in the future, if the market sells actually down into this range, it's a good zone for me to buy off. That is that on NZD US dollar. Let's go to the next one very quickly. The analysis shouldn't take too much time. Your clarity is what sharpens your analysis, okay? On the USD CAD on 4 time frame perspective, let me start from the weekly. But this also moved well in our direction, all right? Last week, I projected this for a buy, and look at it. This was a massive bullish candle, guys. And if you have been following, you know, I don't do Einstein's analysis. I tell you ahead of time, and when it happens, I tell you too. Don't worry, I don't do 100%. I'm never perfect, but most of our analysis, the move just so smart and sharp. This is about 192 pips in the market for last week alone, USD CAD. This is very amazing. I talked about it. I said we're looking for buy that you should keep buying from last week. It's a continuation of analysis I've been doing over the time. Okay. So this is really, really good. And on daily time frame perspective, how does it look like? I was actually expecting the price to get in here based on the structure that I saw on 4 hours. But basically, to go with what I'm seeing on daily time frame, this is my target. Let me show you. This is my actual target. Basically, this is my actual target. But on 4 hour time frame, I have here. So I'm going to show it later. Now, what does that mean? If I have this here, this is a lower, this is a premium price level, which I'm expecting a sell from in the future. So that means I'll be looking at the price and creating something like this. I'll be expecting the price to do something like this in the future. But currently, this is what we have. So let's make that very simple, and don't let me confuse you with all of this drawing. And I believe you understand what it means. But right here, we have more bullish momentum. So for this week, I'm still expecting bullish momentum. No cap. I'm expecting bullish momentum. So if this will be happening, if the price actually retrace, there's no problem with that. It can retrace and move forward more. All right. This is very, very possible. But then let's go to the 4 hour time frame perspective, the 4 hour, and let me show you what I have here. Why I expected the price to respect this zone. This was massive momentum. So just like Euro USD, it was massive beyond what I expected. But right here, I'll be expecting a bit of sell. Actually, yes, I'll be expecting a bit of sell from here. Price respecting this zone a little bit, continue buying into the main zone right here. So if you see the selling right here on the 4 hour time frame perspective as well, it's not a bad idea. It's something we anticipate. So let it flow. And when it's done, we still expect more bullish momentum. This will follow the order of the DXY in direction. So that is my projection on this one. But why here? I'll just make it clear a little. Why here? Why here exactly? Nothing really much there because it's just a little bit of momentum. If you go to lower time frame, you see the fair value gap there. But of course, yes, if you are around here, it's very possible we can just have a little bit of it coming into this range, continue buying. But what I'm saying in essence is we have a little bit of sell moment. Let me take this out so you don't take it for a long time thing. So we can have something like this. Continue buying into this range before we have a sell. All right, this is what I mean. So on 4 hour time frame perspective, right here, we will definitely look at it, and it's looking more like we're going to have a reaction here, right here. So let's be careful how we trade this. We may actually have a sell before we hit this level and smash it later a little bit for sell and the rest. So let's just be careful around this. It's important we talk about it, and this is very important too. Okay, that is that on USD card. We have no much issue on it. And the next guy is the USDJPY. Going to this one, I've projected a buy for last week, and this one also bought for last week. And if you check, this did about 200 pips. No, 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 it's not up to 200. What's this doing? No, 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 no. I want to check the actual thing. It's about 150 pips on average, 150 pips on average. And you look at this last week, if you check the video, I said it that it's going to it looked bullish and it's going to buy. Above this price level here, we'll be seeing liquidity that will be grabbed at this range on the daily. And from here to the current market price, it looks like we are looking for 370 pips on average. But then for this week, that is a bullish ride for us. So we'll be looking forward to more buy here. Looking at it, that is it overextended? It looks more like it, but who cares? We're trading with what the market is showing. So we really don't care about what we feel. We care about what we see in the market. So basically, on this one right here on Friday, we had a bullish momentum on this, and it was is a fantastic one. So basically, I'll be expecting more bullish momentum for this week. And of course, yes, where is the target? I've said it on the weekly time frame. This is where I'm expecting the market to still get into. Look at the price here, look at the pattern, look at the structure, a completion of a cycle right there. So I'll still be expecting more bullish momentum. After having this, I'll be expecting more bullish momentum into this range. And then on 4 hour time frame, what do I have? At some point, I was expecting that if the price is ever going to sell off, this is where I'll be buying from. So if the price ever is going to sell off, this is where I'll be buying from. But currently, let's focus on what we have there for a buy. So this one I can take it out like this, and I can extend this one to meet it in the future because I need this other zone for something else. So right here, we can actually still find a price coming back into a range like this. In fact, this can actually be where we are expecting the bearish momentum to get into before we have a new ride. This is on 4 hour time frame, right? On 4 hour time frame perspective, this is about 60 pips momentum. So which means we might have the price creating that energy into that zone, to that structure, and create something like this to take out the previous high level. And that means we may be having something close to this outlook. This is on the 4 hour time frame, and definitely you can do your own research, do your own analysis. This is my personal thought, and this is what I look at, and this is what I'm seeing in the market. So basically, I'm just going to keep up this energy right here. So for me on the USDJPY, this is what I'm having, and let's go to the next one, please. Oops, USDCHF is very, very good too. This one also gave us some incredible amounts of confidence last week because we traded it for a buy and I projected a buy last week. And look at this, it also went bullish, and that tells you more about what we do. And that is about 100, and it's more than 100, of course. It's more than, I think it's more than one exactly. It is about 112 pips thereabout. So this is a weekly time frame perspective. On the weekly, this is my target here, and I'm expecting the price to take out this zone later on. But what we see is very simple. It was a buying momentum. It bought and we made profit from this one. The community enjoyed it. Now, on the daily time frame perspective, it's very simple. This is following the flow of the DXY, and I'm expecting more bullish momentum on this one. And this is where I'm expecting the price to get into in the future. This is a daily time frame perspective. Let's be clear. And for this week, I told you we made some fantastic movement here over 112 pips. And then look at what we have from the price level to where we're going is about 57 pips. So it looks more like it's not really much. If you have not joined the buy before now, will this time be the best time for you to buy? Well, it depends. But let's go to the 4 hour time frame perspective. If you're on it already, we still have confidence in selling, in buying till the price gets here. So let me just extend this a little bit. Let me extend this a little bit here. And then let me put this here. So this is what we'll be looking for a sale in the future. So on 4 hour time frame perspective, let's go there. Let's see what we're talking about. This is the cycle I'm talking about here. So I'm expecting this to continue buying till the price gets here. What if the price chose to sell? Yes, it's possible. To what price level exactly? I really can't tell, but to what I'm seeing here, it looks more like if this drop in energy, in momentum, we can have it around this price level and bounce off again and continue in its own direction. So this would be my outlook and projection on this one particularly. If we have a sell it in first, then this will be around what we're expecting. So this will be about how many pips in total? About 30 something pips in total to write this here. Maybe 40 pips, basically 40 pips thereabout. Why am I putting here? We have a lot of range before the market broke through. All right. So that's why I'm looking at that zone. But let's keep it simple. Like I said every time, this is what I'm looking at. USDCHF. Good. Grouped in pounds JPY. I'm not interested. Really, I'm not. I've looked at it on different dimension and I've seen, I'm just waiting to see how this will move. And basically, I'm expecting more sell momentum. If it sells down here, this is where I'll be selling from in the future. But of course, right now, at where it is, it's still finding its balance with the JPY. You remember what happened there towards the end of last year, right? So then that's fundamental. Let's just wait. Let's see how price interacts with that zone, and we have more bullish momentum. My target right from time was here. Don't forget, for those that have stuck with me since last year, look at my target. My target is above. Can you see? This is my target actually. So it's not like I'm not expecting more bullish momentum. I am. I've been expecting it. All right. So what happened with the interest rate cut and the rest of that, it was a fundamental outlook, right? But it met my own technical outlook and forecast. So if you have not seen that, any of my videos since October, November, you can check it out. You will see my projection where I made this, okay? Where I made this outlook here. I can't remember the time, but I've made this outlook here for a while now, over months. Okay. So what I'm saying in essence is this is on weekly, it's ranging. So that's why I'm not really interested in this guy. Let it do whatever he wants to do. But on 4 hour time frame perspective, this is where I'm expecting to get into, and that's where I'll be buying from. And that's zone to where the market is right now. It's far. It's about 360 pips. Okay. That doesn't concern me really. Market can do that in a day if it wants to. So I'm not really moved by that. Okay. Now this is on the Great Britain pounds Canadian dollar. My projection was very simple last week. I said we would have the price. This was where the price was around last week. This was where the price was last week. This place right here. And my projection was to see the price climbing and moving about 147 to 150 pips on average and moving up from there. Why? Because I'm working with the cycle and flow of the market. This was my projection. This was where I'm expecting the price to get into. And look at where the price was as a last week. My projection was to see the price here, smash it, and continue moving. Then the price has actually smashed it. And look at it. It's hovering around that zone right now. So if you look at how many pips we made from here last week, that should be less than 130 pips. So this also was a good one for us for last week. This week, my projection is very simple, expecting it to continue buying, find its balance from there, and continue buying. That is on Great Britain pounds CAD. Great Britain pounds CAD. And the next one, Great Britain pounds AUD, no, I'm not checking out this one. I'm not checking out this. I've talked about good. Yes, good. Really, my projection on good is kind of simple. Let me just shrink the chart. I said if you're doing more thing on good, it's very volatile. On a higher time frame perspective, it's a buy. There is no doubt. But if you can't buy for where it is right now, these are the zones you can look out for to buy in the future. On the daily, let me just go straight to the daily first. On the daily, this is the zone here, and this is very, very far from the current market price. This is very far, about 1,400 pips Can you see that? This is at 3,369. And if you look at this, it's very far. But this is on the daily time frame. It's based on what the price is showing. Okay. Based on what the price is showing. Also, on the 4 hour time frame perspective, we have another zone that we can look out for to see a more bullish momentum in the future, which is around here. And that is 3,742. And with this outlook, therefore, it means that even if we're going to buy in the future, if the price comes to this zone, it makes more sense. Buying from the premium as it is right now, it might be tricky because right here, what we have is a bit tricky just to put it in that way. So to keep this very simple, we have a trend line that we're dealing with, and this is the trend line. If you look at this trend line, the price has been shifting away from it quite often. And if you check that, if you do another one, you realize that the market is actually still shifting away from it often. That tells you that we are dealing with a very strong bullish momentum in the market. But right here, what we have is another dimension of an outlook whereby we're expecting a gap to be covered in the market. And markets created this gap on gold last week, and this is it right here at 4,347. So I was expecting that if the price actually moved downward, I'm going to see more bullish momentum from this level. So that was the projection. The price has not created that balance. It has not created a structure, but I'm just waiting. If the price ever comes here, it will be a good zone to look for a buy. And then currently it's looking bullish. Seriously speaking, it's looking really, really bullish. So for me right here, there's nothing much to talk about. I don't want to be dicey with gold. I'd rather wait. If it comes here, I'd rather wait for it to get here before I buy. And it's good that way. But apart from that, the sell momentum it's not really too nice. And I'm just trying to avoid it. Okay. On 1 hour time frame perspective, do I have anything that looks good here? A 1 hour time frame. Let's see. Good 1 hour time frame. Yes, nothing really much here too. It looks bullish anyways. It looks bullish. But if we're ever going to have a bearish momentum, this would be the reason I'll be expecting a bearish momentum. And of course, yes, that is when we'll be looking to buy off. But the way it's looking, we might still actually break the all-time high for this week. So let's keep that simple. If we are not doing that, then we're expecting the price to actually get here before we have a buy. But I'll prefer that it sells to have a buy from here just to cover the gap. Okay. The gap has been protected, higher highs and higher highs over time. But if this happen, I'll be looking for buy from here. So if you're trading gold, be careful with this. Not much insights right now, but then anyhow it goes during the week, I'm going to talk about it again and I'm going to share more insight. But definitely we are on a very bullish momentum and trend. Okay, on the BTC US dollar, we'll just go straight to the higher time frame. That is clear. Every other thing right here, it's a bit tricky because what we made it for the past 4 weeks, 5 weeks now, I've thought about this. Bitcoin has been ranging within this price level, and I'm expecting if it gets here, this is what I want to buy from. Okay, this is at 67,000. If BTC US dollar gets here, this is where I'll be buying from. So this is the technical outlook right here. And I projected it when it was at 1,112,000 thereabout, or 106,000. I think 106,000. I projected the fall that it was going to crash to 98,000 or 99,000, and it happened. All of this movement and momentum here, I projected it, forecasted it ahead of time. It's happened. But my new one is I'm projecting for over the weeks now that it gets here before I start seeing the buy momentum, and it's been hovering around there. So let it be what it is. I'm not really bothered. But on the daily time frame perspective, we are stuck on a zone. We are stuck on a what do I call it? On an equilibrium. This is where we want to buy from, and this is where we can also sell from on a daily time frame. So BTC US dollar is just sitting right here. If the BTC USD ever comes here, we'll be looking for it for a buy, for a sell rather. So let me just extend this guy here. Let me just push this a little, and let me adjust this a little. Then let me create a sell one right here. And that is also going to be very tiny because I don't want to confuse you with so much drawing. Okay. Now, if we ever see the price of BTC around here, BTC US dollar, it's good for a sell. So I'll be waiting for this to happen in the market. That is my projection on this. On 4 hour time frame perspective is yada 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 because everything I've said on daily, it's valid, and the 4 hour time frame is just too much elongating of just elongating the discussion. Not necessary, not necessary. Sure, right. I'm leaving this on daily time frame perspective. Whatever happens on a lower time frame, I believe it's following the sequence of this. Interpret this on a lower time frame, and that should be your goal. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe this, and I believe I'm going to see you again next week. Thank you. God bless you. Enjoy the rest of the week and trade with proper risk management. Have a wonderful trading week ahead of you. Bye.